What's going on, y'all? Hope all is well. Another episode of Convos with the CFP Mario Payne in beautiful Mykonos, Greece. I mean, look at the view. Look at the view. So sitting here, actually poolside or seaside, kind of enjoying myself and just kind of talking to the wife. We was able to talk to a person today from a business standpoint. See if it makes sense to maybe even purchase a property out here. Not saying we are, but it's always good to have conversations. Also from a tax standpoint, as you have these conversations, as you put things in motion, if you're a business owner, you can write things off from a tax standpoint. So definitely strategically, as we have conversations from an Airbnb standpoint, from a purchasing property standpoint, the cost of purchasing, making purchases to kind of go through that process, it definitely helps us from a tax standpoint. Now you want to consult your CPA, of course, or CFP like myself, or go to www.cfp.net to have those more detailed conversations if it works for you. But I digress. Before we get started though, like, subscribe, share our channel as we continue to grow. Have a couple subs from Greece actually that popped up yesterday. That was pretty cool as our content, when it gets loaded here, how the YouTube algorithm works. It posts here, so that's cool. But want to talk about the conversation I have from an Airbnb standpoint, if it's feasible. Now, of course, anytime we invest either in the stock market, which I primarily do, of course, I have my own investment firm, or we invest in property, as the phone is ringing outside, that it's a long-term play. As we invest, and over time, we should make money. You might have good days and bad days from a stock market standpoint. You might buy a property that's just not making you any money. That might go down in value. But a vacation property, typically keeps its value. And from a rental standpoint, unless something happens with the economy, it should kind of stand up and make money. So the conversation we had is, hey, if we do Airbnb here, what's our rate of return? And is it worth kind of the upfront money? Because a vacation place like Mykonos, Greece, is going to be a little pretty penny, right? So I want to kind of show you from an Airbnb standpoint what we can do. And if we are able to profit, look at this. Places to Mykonos. So we just kind of said, if we do it for a week, what would that look like? What would the cost be from a renter, right? Because people vacation here. Now, most vacationers would be European, not American, right? But if a person does vacation here, what's some of the income I can receive from not the biggest property in the world, not the smallest either, but just kind of a mid-size, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 euro. Which in American terms, the exchange rate for every €1, it's $1.10. So basically a 500,000 euro would be more like a $550,000 house. So as we know with house prices, pretty reasonable. And as we can stroll, right, 200 a night, 231 a night. So for a whole week, this is $1,810, right? As we scroll, look at this. I mean, look at that. Studio for 3 near Mykonos town. I mean, look at that. Look at that. 3 guests, 2 bed, 1 bath. So, romantic type of setting. But $130 a night, not bad. Now, typically with Airbnbs, you don't rent it out every single day. So let's say over 30 days, over 1 month, we rent it out for 20 days, right? So basically 75% of the time it is rented out. With something like this at $130, that's over $3,500 on a month-to-month basis. $3,500 a month over the course of a year is over $40,000. So not including price appreciation, if we get $40,000 a year, on a $500,000 house, it's going to take about 13 years to kind of break even from an income standpoint. However, we have price appreciation. And the great thing about rentals is that over time, you would imagine, especially with a vacation place like this, it's going to be some price appreciation. So you can leverage it by getting loans against it, running other properties and kind of going through the process. Or you look at it as a long-term play, and 13 years from now the rent that you're receiving pays for the mortgage as it's paid off. Now it's just cash flow going over time. From a house perspective, as we look here, pretty cool. I mean, look at that view, right? 450,000 euros, basically 500,000 American dollars. So this same one, I can literally Airbnb for $130 a month. the same one I could literally Airbnb for $130 a day. So again, over a course of a month, that being $3,000, again, $36,000 a year, 11 years, this is now paid off, because the thought process over time, of course, you're going to have some growth with your Airbnb rental. So now 11 years from now, I still have the same beautiful view. I have a home that's paid for, and my rental is just cash flow. The second side of doing an Airbnb in a vacation town is that we have a place to vacation. I don't have to worry about going to a hotel or a resort. I don't have to worry about planning things out. I can just go straight to my home. And it is a home, it's your home. And for that week, that 10 days, that 15 days, however long you stay, you just don't Airbnb that out. So now I have paid for a place that I am making income for, and I'm not spending money when I travel. And I'm pretty sure between Mykonos, between the other islands that you guys kind of see in the background, it's 90 different islands that's livable here in Greece. They call this the islands of Europe, basically, right? So we can stay here and just take a whole bunch of day trips and really travel. I mean, it might take 5, 10, 15 years to kind of hit all the islands. So I'm able to kind of leverage my assets when it comes to buying a property, when it comes to doing an Airbnb, and then use that to kind of grow and leverage my portfolio. So as I said before, we can now invest more as the price goes up. If you want to take a loan or equity loan, as some people do, and buy another rental, or not do it at all. And 13 years from now, when it's paid off, don't have to worry about that bill anymore. So things to think about when you vacation. So as we vacation, you want to really look into how you can leverage the money that you spend from a vacation standpoint and turn it into an asset. And by doing that, think about the rental market. Think about if you can Airbnb. Think about the location you want to be at, right? Do you want to be more countryside, or do you want to be more beachside? Having those internal conversations with yourself allows you to really discover if it's good for you to rent abroad. And if you do rent abroad, you have a vacation that you don't have to pay for from a lodging standpoint. So food for thought. For you guys, continue to stay blessed. I always talk about the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your money goes towards bills, 20% to investing, 30% to wants and needs like this. Do those things, you can be able to vacation and not break the bank, not tap into your emergency fund, and not mess with your investments. So all is well. We'll continue to enjoy our vacation in Mykonos. Let's make some painful profits together, y'all. Peace.
Tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, painful profits to help you seek change. And you just wanna get paid. Yeah, tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Painful profits to help you seek change. Yeah, cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you a better living. Bitch at the check, you know, and it could be different. You know.